The Packers wrapped up their third and final voluntary OTA this week before heading into next week's mandatory minicamp. One unit we haven't talked a whole lot about has been the defense, a talented group who has underperformed in previous years, but might be rejuvenated by some of the youth brought in this year's draft.
The young guys are looking at us, as leaders to help this team and to help them get better. And, for them to see us, doing it the right way, whether it's taking care of our bodies, the tape, our practice habits and all that kind of stuff, they need to see that. So, to have the vets here and have them out doing all that stuff and, the young guys watching, that's what we want.
One of those young guys who's been watching and learning has been fourth-round pick Colby Wooden, who defensive line coach Jerry Montgomery has also been coaching up.
He definitely said our days of lining up and just playing ball are just over. Now you got to think. You got to see backfield sets, tight end sets, okay, what they like to do out this formation. What type of runs can I get out this formation? What type of blocks, So just taking each detail that he's given me and comparing it with Kenny is definitely helping me play faster and better. So I'm grateful for it. Like I said, I'm trying to play, so I'm spending all my time, all my downtime in the film, in the playbook. So, yeah.
Kenny Clark had this to say on the rookie's progress thus far in OTAs.
Kobe's been doing good. From day one he's been coming in and he learned the playbook pretty fast, and he's having a pretty good OTA. So just got to stay on top of him, keep going, and keep doing what he's doing. He'll keep getting better.
The additions of Wooden and Carl Brooks add some athleticism to pair with Kenny Clark, which is a little bit of a change of pace from what we had on the defensive line in years past.
I think the defense has been doing a really good job of giving us a bunch of different looks. They're doing a good job of making things look the same. One day, sending a blitz, and then making it look the same the next day and sending a different blitz. So just trying to see all these different looks, trying to understand protections, where we might go, and then everybody being on the same page where our hots might be. Guys peeking when they might get a blitz off their face and different things like that. So I think protection has been huge right now.
Speaking of protection, we didn't see a lot of offensive line clips, but we did see Zach Tom taking second-team reps at center. We also saw rookie tight ends Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave getting involved in run-blocking drills, even working a double team out of a two tight end set. But of course, they continued to showcase their receiving ability as well, as the tight ends and receivers aimed for consistency.
The consistency of routes, the receivers, what they're doing. I think everybody's just doing a better job of, we're learning it in the meetings and we're going out there and doing it on the field, but everybody's doing a great job of just taking all the coaching points and making them work on the field right now. So.
On a windy day in Green Bay, Jordan Love threw some tight wobblers, as they were saying. And as you can see in this next clip here, they still have to work a bit on some of their timing, as Luke Musgrave had to ramp down his speed for that pass. And looking past Rob Domofsky's dome, you see Luke Musgrave on a high pass from Jordan Love, and then past his leg to see the dynamic Tyler Goodson on a slant from the slot.
Tyler's done a nice job, and we've used him in a variety of different ways, whether it's out as a receiver or in the backfield, and he's an explosive player, and he's got really good hands, and I think he's a guy that he's really matured over the course of the year. Has got a much better grasp of the expectations of what it takes to be a pro. I think he's got two great examples in that room, and I've talked about that running back room so many times, but anytime you got a guy like Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon in that room to really set the tone and teach those young guys how to be a pro, I think it is just a huge help for everybody in that room. And I think Ben said it time and time again, just the culture that's created in the running back room is outstanding.
Also out of that running back group is UDFA fullback Hank the Tank Henry Pearson. And working a bit more with Pearson this week was Josiah DeGuara in his H-back kind of role in the backfield. And here we see Deuce Watts followed by Jeff Cotton, who are competing for spots likely on the practice squad. Cotton made a number of nice plays in 11-on-11 throughout OTAs, but faces an uphill battle when competing with all the draft capital that's been sunk into the wide receiver room the last 2 years. The most notable name among them being Christian Watson, who we see here, who's been struggling a little bit with catching the ball cleanly, but does a great job on this catch in particular. And his fluid motion just jumps off the field at you.
Christian, certainly you can feel his speed out there, and just where he is at in terms of his knowledge of the offense is night and day. He is a real leader in that room and does an outstanding job. And
much has been and will continue to be made of this young receiver core until they get out on the field and prove themselves. One drawback of their inexperience is their ability to create off schedule, knowing where to go and what to do when the quarterback breaks contain and is looking to make a play downfield.
They've got to expect the ball, even if they're not in the progression. You just never know. Somebody could miss a block. The quarterback might get flushed from the pocket. So you always have to expect the ball as if you're out in a route. And but I think a lot of that, just the more experience he gets, the better he's going to get at being able to manipulate the defense.
Samori Toure seemed to have a knack for finding himself open when the play broke down, as was evidence in the Buffalo game his rookie year.
Samori's had his moments, and we got to continue to build upon those and become more and more consistent along the way. But he's a guy that we definitely have high hopes for, and he has the things that the tools necessary that you look for in terms of being able to separate. He has them in his body. He possesses those. So, it's just continuing to get more and more reps.
In competition with Toure for the number 3 receiver spot is rookie Jaden Reed, who just stands out for his fluid movement skills, who shows here that despite his smaller frame, he still has some range and a bigger catch radius than you'd think. To be honest, I expect there to be a good rotation of receivers 3, 4, and 5 into the offense this season. And while we're on Jaden Reed, here he is returning some kicks on teams as well. Alongside him, on the next clip, is Christian Watson doing the same, though I don't expect to see that throughout the season as he's receiver 1. Well, that wraps up the organized team activities. We had the 3 weeks where we were able to get a little bit of media coverage and see kind of what's happening behind the scenes at Packers practice. I don't know whether or not we'll have media availability next week during mandatory minicamp. They haven't published that yet through the media, so stay on the lookout for that in case we can. If there is footage, I will of course do a video on it. But the biggest takeaway for me from organized team activities was the team building. The vibes within the locker room seemed like extremely positive. Great energy. Matt LaFleur talked about it a lot. A lot of the players themselves spoke about, a lot of the excitement that there is brewing around this team. A lot of people are writing them off, and I'm here to accept it. I'm glad to tell them that they were wrong after the season. But there's just it's a different environment with this core around it, and there's no longer the distractions that we've had the previous off seasons. Everybody is rallying around a young Jordan Love, and you can tell just from the sound of his voice the level of confidence that he's gained, and now he's able to exude that confidence and expand his leadership throughout the locker room. And I think a lot of those veteran guys, and especially the young guys who, don't have previous years under Aaron to compare it to, are gravitating towards him to lead them into the future.